All right, everybody, this is video 2. When you jump in here, don't go up here and try and download the whole thing. It's just too big of a file. You look at these files in 100 megabytes, 45, 100, 136, 190, 249. Go through and download one or two at a time. And don't do them all. Like, don't just click over here oops, wrong one. Don't just click over here or just click the download and just walk down and download them. Download like 2 or 3. Go click, 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 wait for a minute, click, 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 wait for a minute, let them download, and make sure they're all sent to a folder you can find. If you try and download the whole thing, it's just too big of a file and it's not going to let you, and then you'll be emailing me saying, Mr. Sheets, it won't let me download. But if you cruise over here, you can see if I come over to this one right here and I click it, it's scanning for viruses. Get a notification on your desktop when it's ready. Come over here, there it goes. You can see that it's downloading. So, and there's Mustafar. So if we go over there and take a look at it, here it is. I've provided this with you. This is a fun little thing. This just says Mustafar as if it's the planet. If you know what Mustafar is, you're a nerd like me. Welcome to the club. But you can, again, move on down the line. Here's a 90 megabyte one. I click on that one. It'll again say scanning for viruses, and then in a moment it'll populate up here and it'll download. Okay, so go through and do that. I'm sorry, it will take a little bit of time. So you're probably gonna have to devote like 30 minutes to doing that. Let's see what this clip looks like. There he is. There's a proxy file. It's okay if this proxy is written on there. I did that to make these files small for you. The original files were all shot in 6K, and because they were shot in 6K, they are gigantic. Each file is like between 2 and like 6 gigs at a time. So I made all these small making proxy files. So anyway, do those 2, 3 at a time. You're good to go. All right, so let's jump on over here. I'm going to go to Premiere Pro. I'm going to open Premiere Pro up. And then we're going to go through what is multicam, or not, excuse me, not multicam editing, what is pancake editing. So I'm going to open up my stuff from last week. Here it is. Okay, but we're going to play with it. Okay, so I'll jump over here and I'm going to make this an edit. So by the way, if you didn't know, this little box right here, if you click on that little box, these are all your little layouts for Premiere Pro. So if you're ever doing color correction, you can go to the color correction. Editing, assemble editing, learning. For beginners, this is actually a good one to do. Effects, if you want to do the effects stuff, this is where you would want to go if you click effects. Did I just freeze my computer? I just froze my computer. There it goes. It took a minute. Right, so if you go to effects, this opens your effects window. Notice right here is your sound effects, your graphic templates, markers, history. Over here you have your source, you have your effects control. So you can work on your effects if you want to do effects tabs. You can click back over here and go, oh, I want to do audio. So if you're ever editing your audio, you can jump in here and this is your edit space. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to just standard editing. And this is your standard editing window. It usually looks something like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clear all this out and I'm going to delete it. All right, and then I'm going to show you with just the clips that we have right here. I'm going to show you how we do a pancake edit. So I'm just going to click all these. I'm going to drag them in here. Boom, there they are. Okay, now let's first start off with Markers 2.0. Okay, I call it Markers 2.0 because most people don't use markers to their fullest effect. Again, I don't know everything that they teach you in Intro to Editing, but when I left Intro to Editing, this was not a piece that was taught about markers. Some teachers taught markers, some people didn't. Markers are incredibly important. So let me shrink this down. So I have my timeline selected. I'm going to hit my minus button and it's going to shrink. So we have 5 clips and our audio clip. You guys are familiar with this stuff. So we're going to make believe a lot in here. Okay. So if I want to do markers, what I can do is, so let's say for this, let's say this is a multitude of clips. So I'm going to hit C and I'm going to actually cut this up and do a bunch of little clips. Okay, and I'm going to cut this one up into a bunch of little clips. And I'm going to cut this one into a bunch of little clips, just so we can make believe even better. Okay, and here. There we go. So we got a bunch of clips. We can zoom in once. So let's just say these are all a whole bunch of different clips. All right. So with Markers 2.0, this is a great way to start. So you have all of your Mustafar footage for the video, for the spaceship video, and it's all in here, and you haven't really looked at it. It's just chilling in the timeline right now. So what you can do is get your playhead set, and then you're going to press M twice. So M. Okay, and it brings up this window. So what this is this is a marker. If I move this out of the way, okay, actually, let me undo this for a second. We'll delete it. So if I go like this and I move over and I hit M once, anything that's highlighted puts a mark on it. So this one was highlighted, will go away. If I'm over here, put M. Oh, it's highlighting it. There we go. Now it's not highlighted. M, and it puts it up here. Okay, you got to be careful if you're jumping around and you're accidentally highlighting things. Anything that's highlighted will put the marker on it. If you don't highlight it, if nothing's highlighted, wherever your playhead is, it'll put the mark up here. Okay, so if I can click on this, and we're going to delete the marker, edit marker, and delete it. Okay, and this one right here, we're going to edit the marker. So I'm going to control click on it, scroll down. Oh, I didn't get the marker. I actually got the clip. Let's see if I can get, it's kind of hard to get the markers sometimes. Still not going to get it. I'll leave that one alone. All right. So Markers 2.0. Make sure you're clicked away so this is not highlighted. I'm going to press M once. Notice it puts a marker in right here. If I haven't moved my playhead, I will press M again, and it brings up my window. First off, I can name my marker. So I'm going to name this marker. I'm going to look at this shot right here. I'm going to cheat and look at this shot. And we're going to call this front medium. Okay, just saying. This is going to be all of the front medium shots. And you know something? I don't want it to be green. I don't want that color. I want it to be red because this is our main shot. So I'm going to click that right there. So I have front medium. I've named it. It's red now. I can make comments. And I put all medium shots from the front, and then I'm also going to say, I'm going to come down here, I'm going to say master shot. Okay, so a master shot is your main shot that you're gonna cut to the most. This is your shot that has everything from start to finish, and it's a good clean shot that many times is locked down and does not move. Okay, so we're going to do that. There's also other things we can put in here. We can we can turn this into a chapter marker, a segment marker, a web link. You can do all those things because Premiere Pro links to other softwares and links to the internet. So if you put your web link marker in here and you're a YouTube person, you can put a web link in, and when it uploads to YouTube, that web link is going to be placed in that specific position, and then you can attach a picture or whatever it is that you want to attach to it. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. All right, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Next, right here under duration. So duration, this is how we really make it Markers 2.0. So some of you may have already known that you can do this. You can press M twice, it'll bring up the marker, you can name it, you can change its color, and then hey, you can put different markers in, they're all different colors. Great. But if you come over here and you click and hold and scrub sideways, notice how the number is getting bigger, and I let go. It now says 12.11, so it's 12 seconds, 11 frames. Watch what happens when I press OK. Notice our marker down here. It is now red, and it has handles. I can grab it, and I can drag it out. Okay? And notice what it says right here. If I zoom in on it, well, it's not going to let me zoom in. I always forget that outside of Premiere Pro, I can double tap and zoom in, but inside Premiere Pro, it doesn't. So right here, front, medium, all. So it's giving me what I put in there, put in the information. So I can now zoom out a little bit. I'm going to come down here with my playhead. I'm going to press A on my keyboard, and then I can now click everything and move it all down. Okay, so A makes it so I can click and move, or I can come down here and click, and anything past my cursor, I can select it all. Okay, there we go. So I'll press V. That's my key command to be back to my normal, my quick selection tool. Now I'm going to scrub through this. Here's my front mediums, front medium, front medium, front medium, front medium, and then it cuts to a side shot. So I'm going to click right here in between, hit delete, and I'm going to take the first 5 clips, because those are all my front medium shots, and I'm going to drag this down here, make my chapter marker big, maybe give myself a little more space just in case I feel there might be more that goes in there. And then my next shots are going to be stage right. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to click away so I have nothing highlighted. I'm going to press MM. I'm going to make this one white. And I'm going to say stage left close. Okay. Again, I can put comments if I want. I don't need to, so I'm not going to right now. I'm going to grab my duration right here, click and scrub, let go of the mouse and hit OK. Look down, here it is right there. It's got my handles. I can stretch it out, stage left close. Scrub through, stage left, stage left, stage left, and then it goes to stage right. So we'll take these first ones, we'll drag them into my marker. I can scoot this over anytime I want. By the way, I can grab my markers and I can move my markers if I want. Okay, and then I can take all these and I go A again and move these down to give myself space. It's okay to leave space in this particular edit. So in Pancake editing, we're going to spend time filing all of our shots here on the timeline, and you're going to see why it's so good in a minute. I'm going to do one more marker real quick. I'm going to click here and away. I'll click right there and I'll hit MM. I'm going to make this one blue. I'm going to call this one other shots. I'm just doing this quickly. You will want to break them down a little bit more. And then I'm going to scrub again, hit OK. There it is, other shots. I'll go like that. And then A, click all of them, slide them in. V to go back to my quick selection tool. And I'll move this. This is audio. I'll do a marker here, MM. I'm going to make this one orange, and I'll say audio. Scrub it, and hit OK. Nope, I accidentally put it on there. All right, so let me do that again. Click here, click away, MM. There it is. Now I can do orange and audio. I accidentally highlighted it. Audio, scrub it, good. Right there. Also, you notice right here, that was kind of my next little step, but I accidentally did it in front of you, so I figure I might as well leave it. There's my audio right there. Let me zoom in on this. If there's a particular clip that's really long, you can put markers on your clip for the length of what you want. So if you have this highlighted, click right here, MM, make it white, just say something. Just because I'm not sure what to put in there. Go like that. Hey, there it is. Okay, so you can have sections that are marked off. Okay, so you can do these elongated markers to tag any part of your footage, whether it be timeline. So like if you're making a motion picture, let's say, okay, and you have your first 3 acts, you could have act 1, act 2, act 3, and it can be as long as you want. These markers will extend infinitely for the length of your timeline. Okay, the whole point of these are also their identifiers. You can easily look and go, oh, here's my front medium, here's my stage left, oh, here's my other. Normally people, if they're going to go through their footage, they're going to be over here and they're going to make files. And then if there's a file, notice we can't see our picture. And by the way, if you're editing in this view right here, yeah, I wouldn't suggest editing in this view because it's kind of budget. You look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, what is that? Hold on. Oh, hold on. Which one? And you're trying to scrub. I would highly recommend this view. You can double click and hey, there's your footage, and then you have to scrub through and you put an in point and you put an out point, and then you can grab it and drag it down. Sure, you can do that. But you notice how many steps I went through. Double click, scrub, find what I want, put an in point, put an out point, click and drag. Okay, and and if you've done it right anyway, you should have already filed this footage. So you already had to go through a filing process, which is what we just did over here. And you still have to go through all that. Now, we've done Markers 2.0. Now for the final piece that makes this so quick. So let's say we just spent 45 minutes filing everything over here under our Markers 2.0. By the way, that's my own term, Markers 2.0. If you go say that to somebody else in the industry, they may or may not know what you're talking about. They're like, Markers 2.0, what is that? You show them this, and they'll just be like, oh, those are extended markers. Everybody has their own name for it, okay? So there are a ton of different names for these. I like to say Markers 2.0 because of teaching. So next, let's create why this is so good, our pancake, okay? So we only have 2 layers. We're going to cruise up here and go like this. And then I'm going to go File. So come up to the top, File, New, Sequence. Click Sequence. This sequence, I'm going to call this Rough Draft Summer. I'm doing that because this is the summer footage that we used last week. You're going to be doing something with spaceships, but always, 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 I cannot stress enough, always name your sequences so you know what they are. Don't just let it say sequence 1, sequence 2, sequence 3, because it just repeats that. And if you ever get things mixed up, I see it all the time with my students here, my students at Yavapai, my students at ASU. I see this all the time. They'll just leave it, let it say sequence 1 or sequence 2, and then the next thing you know, it crashes, they reopen it, it opens another project, there's 2 projects mashed together, and there's a whole bunch of sequence 1s, 2s, 3s, 5s, 7s, and they don't know which one is which. If you name it, like I'm naming it Rough Draft Summer, I hit OK. Now you're going, okay, I don't see what I need, Mr. Sheets. Well, that's okay. These are our tabs right here. So here's my rough draft this summer, okay? Or here's my rough draft summer, and here's like this summer. Okay, so this is all my raw footage. If I want, I can go up to sequence settings. Excuse me, sorry. I can go and jump out of this folder, go back, and I believe it's right here. Again, if I had this in the right view, there it is. Now I can see it. See, that's why I like this view better, because then there's all these pictures and you're looking. I can come over here and I can name this Assemble or Assemb for Assemble Edit. So this is, I know that these are all my assemble pieces. So now notice it says Assemble, and then right here, Rough. So I can go to my Assemble, and here's our pancake. I click right here on the tab. I pull it off, and notice things start turning purple when I move them around, right? So you can go in here, don't let go, because it'll drop it wherever you let go. So now here above this, I notice you can go to the sides and you have this, you can go up here and it wants to just drop it on there. Or if you come down just a little bit, you can go to the center, or you can go to this thick purple line. If you go to this thick purple line, what it's saying is insert this here above the other layer. So if I let go, boom, I now have 2. It is inserted above, but they're connected. So I can click this and I can move them. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I can grab this. I can drag this up if I can get a hold of it. I'm using a trackpad instead of a mouse. I like a mouse better, but I'm on a laptop. So I'm right here. So this is my rough draft. I can now go, okay, I'm going to start on my front shot. I can find out, it's like, oh, there it is right there. This is the one I want. I can grab it and drag it down. So it says, if you get this right here, change sequence settings or keep existing, always hit change. Reason why you want to hit change is because if you're starting off your new sequence, you want to make sure that it is uniform to the clip that you're using. If I would have kept it the same, it may have been set to 4K or 6K or something, and then it would have been, you know, missized for our sequence. All right. Then I can come down here and go, okay, what's my next one? Oh, here's my next one right here. I want to grab that and click and drag it down. Notice what we have here, okay? It totally leaves it up here. So I can grab it and drag it down as many times as I want. It's just making a copy into this timeline. I can then scrub down here and go, oh, I want to go to this one. Grab it and drag it down. I could scrub back and go, oh, I want this one, and come over and drag this down. Hopefully you're seeing what makes this so good. You can just go right here and you can scrub through your stuff. If you want, you can expand it. You can press the space bar and press play and listen, whatever you want to do. Okay, and you can grab that and bring it down, and then it's easy. You can shrink it or grow it or whatever you need to do to make it fit with what you want. But when you're pancake editing, you can have multiple layers of these. You can start off with your assemble edit. This is all just the footage. And then you can go for your rough draft, and you can throw all your rough draft in here. You can throw it all in here, so it is all in the right time. You can do another one below that, and then you can close this one if you want, and then you can start tightening it up. The point of this is it has layers. Okay? With your layers, you can move pieces from one layer to the next layer to the next layer, and each layer becomes a little bit better, a little bit tighter. More of the garbage you're not going to use is pulled out, and more of just the footage you are using is in and assembled in an even better manner. Besides that, if there's one thing I can tell you, if you ever create an edit, take this to the bank. Don't ever not do this. If you ever have an edit and you're showing it to a client, and you go, okay, what do you think? And they go, oh, I like it, but can you change this, change this, change this, change this, change this? And they tell you all these changes. Say, no problem, take notes, write those changes down. And then when you go back to change it, copy this, make a new sequence, and paste it and edit the new sequence you just made. Always leave your original draft. Always create a new sequence for the next edit. Inevitably, your client will ask you to change things, and then you'll show them the changes, and they'll go, oh, that's really good, but I really like the other one better. Can we go back to that? And if you don't have a copy of it saved, you have to try and go recreate it, and it's virtually impossible. All right, I've talked your ear off. We've done Markers 2.0 right here. I've shown you how to do the pancake. It's not hard. It's a very easy way to set up, but it's a very, very fast concept because you can then start scrubbing, grabbing and pulling down, scrubbing, grabbing and pulling down. And you can eliminate, so let's say I'm grabbing 2 from each one of these, I can eliminate all the other ones, and suddenly I have a quarter of the footage or a third of the footage that was originally there, and it's much tighter and it's all the good shots. All right? If you have any questions, you need assistance, by all means, email me, message me in the Canvas Messenger. So over here under the inbox, message me there. Make sure you download this footage. And I'm going to reiterate this like I always do. And I'm going to probably say this every single week because nobody ever listens. Actually, 2 people this week listened, and I'm stoked on that. Start early. Jump on this. It's Monday. Jump on this Monday afternoon or evening, Tuesday at the latest. At least get started on this so you kind of know what's in front of you. Because if you wait until Saturday or Sunday and it's due Sunday night and then you run into a problem, it puts you behind schedule. So always start early if you possibly can. Even if you got a lot of work. I know there's a lot of people. I work every single night. I work 2 jobs. I have multiple classes plus a job. Fine. I guarantee you have a lunch break. I guarantee you have 30 minutes in between class or whatever. Start just getting stuff set up to get you moving in the right direction. It will benefit you immensely. All right, again, if you need me, message me over here on the inbox as quickly as possible so I can get to you. Get rocking and rolling. Good luck, and I will see you guys next week on here, and I'll see you on here if you have any questions for me. But I look forward to seeing what you guys create. Be creative, bring in different assets than what I gave you. Go find extra sound effects and different music, and really be creative with this. Have fun. Honestly, this is a 1.5-minute video. You should spend probably 5 hours editing, truly. Last thing before I turn this off, just because it just dawned on me. For every minute of edited footage, most professional editors will spend about 4 hours per minute of edited footage. So with this, you should be spending about 6 hours of editing to make this top notch. If you're getting it done in less than 4 hours, you're not spending enough time. If you're getting this done in like 1 or 2 hours, you're definitely not spending enough time. A professional editor will go over it and work and tweak and mess with and change until it's the best thing. And it's usually in the neighborhood of 4 hours per minute of edited footage. All right, I've talked too much. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye bye.